Here you'll see that beautiful bounce pass by LaFonso Ellis, a good seal by Robinson, and there goes the pump fakes. He might have pump faked himself right on into a block, not realizing the weak side defender was coming over.
So one foul on Frederick and one earlier on Robinson, the two personals assessed against the Irish here so far.
You know, you get so concerned about interior rebounding. Those long rebounding plays really hurt you when you're playing a zone packed in that far.
Missing everything. Owens way off. He can be an erratic shooter, as Syracuse fans will realize. Man, when he heats it up, the orange comes alive.
And Brent, Syracuse has not tried to go inside at all against that 2-3 zone. I think the center is open. Guys like Coleman and Owens can sneak in there.
Good block, good defense, and Edwards busts out. Frederick is back with Bennett defensively. Edwards on a pull-up on a nice maneuver by the freshman.
Edwards gaining some respect with his shooting ability. Did exactly the right thing that time, pulling up at the foul line.
Frederick's three is short. Seemed to hurry just a little bit, didn't he?
Shot it a little flat.
Oh, Edwards wants it.
And Digger will let him take as many of those as he wants. He's really taken his team somewhat out of their offense, even though he made a few shots. Sometimes you have to just call a guy over and say, remember who our stars are, young man. Get that ball to Derek for a time or two.
Boeheim leaving Leron Ellis over on the Syracuse bench.
Leron statistically has not given Jim Boeheim what he expected.
On the turnover.
Good hustle.
And Frederick scrambles back. The freshman couldn't get it to stay down, but he comes back again with that underhanded shot. Thompson attempting to finish, and it's an offensive foul.
Great play by LaFonso Ellis. And on the other end, Williams so conscious of the blocking ability of Syracuse, he just didn't put it in a good power move on the inside.
I think the season's in danger, but I don't believe that we can predict yet the degree of likelihood that we're going to have a major
Ellery in for Williams. Much a powerful player, built like a fire plug. And there you see coming back in, Coleman going out, Ellis coming back in. Mike Hopkins also in the game early for Jim Boeheim, so a lot of changes. And I think Ellis could move into that middle of that foul line area and get some shots.
Frederick hits a triple for Notre Dame, and the Irish lead it here at the 12-24 mark, 13-10.
They've changed their defense as well. Little junk defense that time by Digger Phelps, but everybody was confused and they didn't ever get into their positions. And Syracuse goes man-to-man. Coach is working on the sideline in this game early.
This is Ellery out high for the Irish. Bennett with the miss. Thompson off. Hopkins forced to pull out by Frederick as the guards are quickly retreating defensively for Notre Dame here in the early moments of this game. Scott coming through. Taken away beautifully by Scott, and here's Ellis.
Leron is an excellent jump shooter. He just has to get more active offensively.
Boeheim wanting him to be a little bit more aggressive on the inside.
Then he's only averaging 6 points a game. He's capable of being a double-figure scorer.
Thompson fouling Frederick on the shot, so he'll come up and shoot a pair, and that's the second personal foul on Stevie. Coleman returning. Owens will take his first break.
Frederick's one of those fellows who followed his dad to the campus of Notre Dame. Dad played a little football there. Kind of tough to recruit a kid in high school. His dad played at Notre Dame. Say, son, wouldn't you rather go to another school? And a guy that I think has to have a big game for Notre Dame today from a shooting standpoint, and so far he's off to a pretty nice start.
So Frederick hits his free throws. Notre Dame leads it by 1 as a result. We've got a timeout at the 11:10 mark.
Okay, here's what you talk about in floor balance. Bennet is down on the floor, but Fredericks, who's out of our picture, has already retreated to be back on defense. And watch how well Notre Dame fills the lanes defensively, taking away any opportunity for a fast break by Syracuse, because in effect they've got the 2 men back in tandem waiting on the fast break before it ever can get started. Good job by Notre Dame, and something they have to do effectively all day today.
Really interesting that the Irish lead here, yet LaFonso Ellis has to score a single point in this game. He hasn't even taken a shot attempt. He's played well defensively and rebounding for Notre Dame, but they haven't got him into the flow offensively yet.
I think he's open in the center. Here you see Notre Dame going back to a 1-3-1 zone. Frederick running the baseline, so Digger really changing up, and that's the problem. If you go 1-3-1, you got to put a guard on the baseline. Frederick too small to handle the lob. They're better off in the 2-3 zone.
That would Leron Ellis, Syracuse. Frederick with the pull-up, and now he's the leading scorer with 7 points.
And Digger just, this is the second time after timeout. He's showing them different defenses, but you can see this is much better to play Syracuse this way, because Frederick would get caught on that lob all the time in the 1-3-1.
Hopkins now out on top. Scott over here on the side for Boeheim. Ellis on the other side, and Thompson maneuvers well inside. Comes back with the rebound and lays it in.
Is he amazing? He can only use the left hand inside, and at 6'3½", he still gets the shot off.
We've had 7 lead changes and make it 8. No, it won't stay down.
No, that's not a basket because it did not clear the net. You don't see that often.
Coleman makes him pay with a triple at the other end. Derek Coleman makes it a 21-17 Syracuse lead on the three-pointer.
Now, we will see that again, I'm sure, but the ball must clear the net.
And that's what Digger is complaining that it did. But we'll take a break and come right back, and we'll check that shot.
Well, Brent, you don't see this often in basketball, but this is the perfect lob, the perfect dunk, with one exception. LaFonso Ellis' head gets in the way. Now watch it right here. The ball must clear the net. The problem is LaFonso's head's there, the net is right here, and watch the ball take off. Hits his head, bounces right back up through the rim. It is not a basket.
That's simply a case of a ball player being too heady.
Or know when to use your head at the right time, huh?
I don't think I've ever seen that.
Well, I've seen the ball pop out without hitting the head, but it must clear the net, not just the rim.
Now against the press, Notre Dame gets it up. And Bennet with the pull-up missing, knocked free. Coleman's ball.
Not the kind of shot Notre Dame needs. Bennet should pull that out, take a few more minutes, seconds off the clock. And Digger's screaming at him, why? Good question.
Syracuse up by 2, or make that 4. 21-17 is the count. That shot did not go down for Notre Dame, and they have possession right now at the 9:15 mark here of the first half. Notre Dame has hit only 2 of its last 9 shots. They certainly have cooled down. Syracuse continuing to hit it 50% of the game.
Their last nationally televised game against Duke, they were 4 for 21 in the first half. Playing much better today and fundamentally very sound on the defensive end.
Knocked out by Syracuse.